Alright, so we're going to do right triangle trig. And what I just mean by trig is just finding pieces of a triangle using SOHCAHTOA. Okay? So this is not something that you've not done. In fact, we've done all of it before. Now, and I noticed you guys got your calculator for that. You want to be sure that in your calculator you're on degree mode. So go to mode.
I'm in rate.
Okay. Go to mode, and then you want to be in degree. Now, if I build you a triangle, and it's a right triangle, and I mark, let's say, this angle. Will you do me a favor and label the adjacent? So draw your right triangle, okay, and write the word adjacent on the side that's adjacent. Think about what adjacent means, next to, right? Adjacent. We're going to do adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. So which one is the adjacent? Yeah, did you pick this one? The one beside it, right? We're talking about that yellow angle. This leg right here is adjacent to the yellow angle. Adjacent shares a leg. So now which one is opposite? Label the opposite of the yellow angle. Did you do this one? Right? And then the hypotenuse obviously is across from the right angle. Ready? Okay with that? Okay, the other part that's review, okay, and I just kind of already said this, but I'll talk about it again, is SOHCAHTOA. Remember, if I tell you sine of an angle, we did sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? So it's opposite over hypotenuse. Hang on a second. Right, so we wrote it as SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA, correct? So sine of an angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle, remember, is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent of an angle is opposite over adjacent. Right? It's just a review. Now, we found pieces. Like I would give you a side and an angle and you'd find a side, remember? Or I'd give you two sides and you'd find an angle. Right? These are the two ways that we did it. If we were going to find a side, then it would look something like this. You would say sine of 40 degrees equal x over 3. That would be how you find a side. We know it's a side because sine stands for opposite over hypotenuse. So I know the hypotenuse of that triangle is 3. Okay, how would I find the answer? I would type in my calculator to find x. I would say sine of 40 times 3 equals x. Can somebody do that for me, please, and tell me what you get? What do you get?
1.92.
Yeah, 1.92. Okay, so x equals 1.92. Now then, if we were going to find a side, we could do a different method to find an angle, remember? So I would say something like maybe sine of x, because I don't know the angle. But in order to find an angle, I have to have two sides. So I might tell you something like this is 10 and 14, which means this is the opposite and this is the hypotenuse. But how do you free the angle here? Do you remember what we did in our calculators to find sine? Find the angle. Yeah, you find the inverse. Kind of like if you have a division problem, to undo division you multiply, to undo addition you subtract. So in sine, to get to free x or to free theta, you take the inverse. So on your calculator, you would say the inverse of 10 over 14. And that would give you x, or the angle. Somebody tell me what the angle is.
45.5.
Thank you. equals 45.58 degrees. Okay, so that's just kind of a review. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a triangle, I'm going to give you a little bit of information, and you're going to help me fill in all the rest. So let's start with our triangle. Your directions are to find the 3 missing parts. That's the goal. Find the 3 missing parts. Okay, keep in mind, because we're using right triangles, we can also use SOHCAHTOA, right? We're doing some pre-cal. So we're going to do sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. If you'll list those, it'll really help each problem. So you'll get so good at it, you won't need to after a while. But for the first few, it helps. So find the missing parts. Here's your triangle. And let's see, I'll use. Right, so I'm going to label the parts in pink every time they're given. Okay, and it helps if you have a pen, something different than what you're using, to do it in a different color. So here's what it's going to tell me. It's going to say that angle A is 41 degrees. It's going to tell me B is 12.5 centimeters. That's basically the problem. And if we label all of them the same, so in other words, the right angle let's always use is C. This would be A, B, C. Okay, the 2 given pieces of information, in a triangle there are going to be 6 parts, right? So it gave me 2, right? In other words, there's 3 angles and how many sides? Right? 3 angles and 3 sides. So there's 6 pieces of information, correct? Well, it gave me 2, and I know that's 90 degrees. So basically I have 3. How many more parts do I need to find? 3 more. Y'all understand why they're asking for the 3 missing parts? Alright. So let's label what we know. We know this is 41 degrees, and we know side B is 12. Well, if this is angle B, where do I put side B at? Directly across. Y'all see that? Directly across. So this is 12 centimeters right here. And then I'm going to label the other sides just with a letter so I know. And then I'm going to fill in a box that tells me my answer box. And we always start with the angles. So what angle am I missing? I know A, I know C is 90. So what angle do I need? B. We always start with the angles just to keep it uniform. So everybody kind of has the same paper that looks the same. Not for any other reason other than that. What 2 sides am I missing? I've got side B, so I need A and C. Okay? Now in pink, we have labeled what, in color, we have labeled what we need, right? So we have an angle, and we have its what? We have its opposite, its hypotenuse, or its adjacent. Which one do we have? Look at it closely. If you don't know this answer in your head, it's going to make the problem hard. We have an angle, and we have its what? Adjacent. Which of these helps use or uses adjacent? These 2, right? Because here, it's going to find the hypotenuse for me, which is we call side C. And here, using the adjacent is going to help me find the opposite, which is side A. You see that? Isn't that cool? So now then, I'm just going to use those 2 and find them. Okay, so first let's do tangent. Okay, so tangent of 41 degrees equals, it tells us, opposite over adjacent. Which one's opposite, guys? The A or the 12 or the C? The formula is opposite over adjacent. Here's my angle. Opposite is A, and adjacent is 12. How would you get rid of the 12? We're solving for A. What am I going to do to both sides? Multiply by what? Multiply by 12, right? So therefore, A just equals 12 times tangent of 41. Can you use your calculators for me and find that? 10.43. I got 10.87. You? Oh, it's because it's 12, not 12.5. I see why. Tell me what you got.
10.43.
Thank you. I copied the wrong number too. So then 10.43 is one of my answers. It's really easy. Now then, look up here. We used adjacent, right? So this is finished. We've already used tangent to find the opposite. So now we're going to use cosine to find the, what? The hypotenuse, because we have adjacent. So let's use cosine. Pythagorean theorem? Yeah. Yes, but if you're going to stay with this method, if you pick a method, you got to go with it the whole time. So on this one, you need to use both. Right, and yeah, right. Okay, on this one, using the five votes, because in a little while they're going to have what they call ambiguous cases. We'll get there. So we need to use it on both. Cosine of 41 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent is 12, and hypotenuse is C. Okay, you guys aren't going to like this one, so you pay real close attention to this one. This one's harder. Okay? Because where's C at here? In the bottom. So you can't just multiply both sides by 12 and get the answer. You've got to get C free. Right? So here you go. Watch and take good notes on this problem. When the missing side is in the denominator, it's harder. So mathematically, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply both sides by C. Because look, it cancels, doesn't it? Y'all agree? You multiply this side by what? By C. So now I have C times cosine of 41 equals 12. Get 12 first in the calculator, but yeah. So now I'm solving for C, right? What do I have to get rid of? Divide by cosine of 41. So the calculator, you're actually going to do 12 divided by cosine of 41. Solving for C. 15 point what? Thank you. How do I find B?
Well, if there's 180 degrees in a triangle.
Good. There's 180 degrees in a triangle, right? So you're going to do 180. So now I'll write it right here. Angle B. You're going to do 180 minus the 90 for the right triangle and the 41 for the other. So angle B is 49 degrees. Got it? Let's go to the next one. What do you think? Good. Here's the next one. Angle B . Here's your triangle. And like I said, it helps if everybody kind of labels them the same. So if you're checking with a friend or whatever, you'll understand. And the information I'm going to give you is that angle B is 18.8 degrees and side C is 42.5 yards. So angle B is 18.8. Label your triangle. Side C, which is the hypotenuse, is 42.5 yards. Now we have to find the three missing parts, right? We have three, and we're going to find three. So build your square. Angle A, side A, and side B. Okay, now guys, this is my advice, because you don't know what to use, sine, cosine, or tangent, right? Some of you maybe can just glance at it and know. But if you want a shortcut, you know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. Look at the pink and tell me what they gave me. They gave me an angle and it's what? An angle and the what? Adjacent would be this. Are you seeing it now? This is side A and this is side B. You might label that because if you flip them, in fact, that's one of the biggest mistakes kids make. They label these falsely and then they're wrong. The side on the bottom is A. Okay, so they gave me an angle and a hypotenuse. So which two use hypotenuse? Here and here, sine and cosine. So those are what you're going to do. You're going to use sine to find the opposite and cosine to find the adjacent. Are you seeing where I got that? Because it gave me the angle and the hypotenuse. Since I've got the hypotenuse, I'm going to use these two. And it takes the guesswork out of it. All right, let's start with the first one. Sine of 18.8 equals opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is what letter? What letter is opposite of 18? B. Good. And the hypotenuse is 42.5. But the variable on top, is that the hard one or the easy one? Easy. You just multiply both sides by 42.5. So your calculator, you're going to do sine of 18.8 times 42.5. Did y'all get 13.7? Sorry about yeah? Okay, I'll give you a second and you try side A. Side A. What have we used? We've used sine, so now what are we going to use? Think cosine. All right. Cosine's tricky. Cosine's the adjacent over hypotenuse. Which of these variables, A or B, is the adjacent? A. There's the angle. This angle, its adjacent is A. If you mislabel it, you're going to miss the problem. A over the hypotenuse, 42.5. And again, the variable's on the top, so that's the easy problem. So just multiply both by 42.5. So cosine of 18 times 42. I got 40.23, right? Now find angle A. Angle A is just 180 minus 90 minus 18.8. 71.2. Don't forget your degree marks so you don't lose points. 71.20 degrees. So I'm going to give you one to do on your own. Ready? Here's your triangle. I'm going to tell you angle B is 37.3 and side A is 132 inches. Those are your two nodes. And when you label it, the right angle is C. And then don't forget over here if you need it to label SOHCAHTOA so you can decide which two you need. I'm going to walk around. I'll give you a few minutes and I'm going to walk around and check. Alright, so step one is to label in a different color. So this is 37.3 and A. Now remember, its side is across from it. So this is angle A, across is side A. So this is side A. Let's label the rest. This is angle C, across from it is side C. It's back to geometry, right? This is angle B, across from it is side B. Okay? Now, if you use this, now you have to decide which two to use. Well, I have an angle in pink. Two things. I have this and this. So I have this angle and this side. Is this side its adjacent or is it its opposite? Right? If you're going to use this angle and this side, these are the only two pieces of information I know. So I've got an angle and it's what? It's right beside it, so it's its adjacent. So if you're going to use adjacent, these two use adjacent. Adjacent, Here we'll find the hypotenuse, adjacent here we'll find the opposite. Does that help? So now then mathematically, you just say, okay, cosine of a 37.3 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So 132, our hypotenuse is C. Don't get the letters mixed up. Right? Now this is the yucky one, but this C is on the bottom. Right? So you're going to multiply this by C and this by C. So C times cosine of 37.3 equals 132. So technically to find C, you have to divide this by cosine of 37.3. So 132 divided by cosine of 37.3. So C gave us 165.94, right? Inches. Now then B. Okay, so we've used cosine, so now we gotta use tangent. Tangent of 37.3 equals opposite over adjacent. Which one's the opposite? B, and there's the adjacent. This one's easy because the variable's on top. You just multiply both by 132, and B is 165.94. No, I'm sorry, 100.56. And then A you just subtract. So you get 57.7. 52.7, thank you. Don't forget your degree mark. Okay, are you feeling okay about that? Alright, hang on. We have one other type and then we're done. What happens if I give you all sides instead? Okay. You cry? No, you won't. You won't cry.
Give us all sides.
Yep, right now. I haven't yet.
When we're done.
Okay, try this one. Here's your triangle. A, C, and B. And this time I'm going to tell you A equals 11 millimeters and B equals 21 millimeters. I didn't give you an angle. These are actually easier. Now let's label what they gave me. A is 11, B is 21, and I don't know C. So for my missing box for my answers, I always start with their angles. I'm missing 2 angles and I'm missing 1 side. How do you find that? Very good. You're just going to use Pythagorean theorem real quick. Remember when you have 2 legs, you add, right? When you have a leg and a hypotenuse, what do? Subtract. So to find it, you're going to say, all right, 11 squared plus 21 squared equals C squared. Right, because the formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So then C squared actually equals 562, but you have to take the square root. So you get 23.71. Yeah, it's good near 100. Now then, but you have to find A or B. It doesn't matter. You know all the sides. But if you want to use what's given, okay, just pick a side. Let's say we pick angle B. If we pick angle B, they gave me opposite and adjacent, didn't they? The 2 things are opposite and adjacent. What is that? Tangent. So tangent of B, because that's what we're looking for, is opposite over adjacent. So 21 over 11. How do I have 3B? What do I have to do to both sides to get angle B? Take the, what do we do in the calculator? Take the inverse. So the inverse of 21 over 11, and if you're not sure how to do that, look in your calculator. Okay, you type in the inverse tangent, which is second tangent. And you do 21 divided by 11. 62.35. Don't forget the degree mark. How are you going to find A? Same way, just, oh no, subtract. 180 minus 90 minus your 62.35. So angle A is 27.64?
Yeah. Wait, 27.5. I got 65.
Yeah, okay, if you round 1 to 10, it's fine. Last one. Same kind of problem, you try it. On your own. I'm going to tell you B is 6 feet and C is 13 feet. Side C, yeah. Okay, they gave me opposite and hypotenuse. Well, it depends. If you're looking for B, it depends on what angle you're going to look for. So it gets kind of tricky here. But if you don't know how to find it, look, I'm just going to pick. I need A and B. So if I picked B, for example, they gave me 6 and 13. So they gave me its opposite and its hypotenuse. What uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. You don't have to use that way, but that's just a way. So I'm going to take the inverse of 6/13. And if you didn't do that, doesn't mean you're going to get the wrong answer. So angle B, I got 27.51. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So you could just subtract it from 90 because if you subtract it from 180 minus 90 is 90.
But you didn't know A or B. Oh, yes. I understand. So to get the other angle, you could do 90 minus that. Yes, yes. So now 90 minus 27.51 is 62.49. You got angle A was what? Okay, so tell me what you wrote down. How'd you find A? What'd you write? Like tangent of B? Okay, equals what? So I have to do opposite over adjacent. So what's its opposite? Okay. Everybody feel like they're okay with it? Okay, we're done for today.